girl. Morning, Darlene. I hurt. It is going to be a very extraordinarily lazy day for me today. Because I hurt all over. Simi decided to have a upset system. Well, I'm sure she didn't decide it, but ended up with an upset system last night. And I had altogether a total of 10 runs to take her outside, which means in and out of the wheelchair 10 freaking times. Yeah. Not fun, but cat. Shut up. God. She finally settled down about somewhere between 10:30 and 11. She's been fine since, so. But I haven't slept very well, and get off, cat, go away. Yeah, I just hurt all over from having to get up and down that much. And my cat is harassing the crap out of my dog. Oh my god. Has ignored her all morning. And now, hey, mom's doing something. Let's make a lot of noise and bug the dog. Because of course she is. But I hope everybody else is doing well today. Yeah. Yeah, she was literally peeing out her butt. It was not pretty, and she was not happy. I was not happy. But I honestly, the last couple of times I had to get up, I didn't think I was going to be able to because my knee was just horrible. Good morning, my beautiful Susanna. But there's just no way for me to clean up an accident from the dog. So getting her outside was very important. Craziness. Hello. No, it's not the dog food. Hope you got earbuds in, Dibble, because I am not for speakerphone. Hey, everybody at Walmart, how the fuck are ya? Yeah, no, although, you know that dog food came in little bags. Kind of weird. Because usually it's like the 13-pound bag or 14, 17 or whatever the big, not huge bag, but the medium bag. And my mom opened that box and she's like, oh, you've got all kinds of little bags. She thought it was the cat food. And I'm like, no, that's dog food. So, yeah, not really sure about that. But she closed the thing up so quick I couldn't see how many little bags there were. So I don't know. I do know it was heavy. Like, I don't know if they were out of the size that usually gets sent, so they made the equivalent with smaller bags. You know what I mean? I don't, or if they're just going to send smaller bags. I don't know. Tina, how the fuck are ya? Hi, Bonnie. What are you guys up to today, Susanna? You letting Tina go to the market? Because you know she loves going to the market. No yard sales, just the market. Oh, okay. I got you. Yeah, I don't have too much of a problem with the bags that I was getting. I just was taken by surprise. That's all. But yeah, the smaller bags are fine. Just means I got to open more of them to empty them into the container. Like, I used to only have to open one bag. That's fine. It's not a problem, Kathy. We're on a way to price booze for wedding gifts. Yeah, because that's what everybody needs is to get drunk and married. And speaking of which, our very own Susie Woozy is getting married today. So I wish her well today. I did tell her there was still time to run, but she just laughed. I tried. So congratulations to her. And our beautiful Victoria and sweet, sweet Southern Dawn are both there to share her happy day today. And she did give Victoria permission to go live. So at some point today, we will get live coverage of her, either the reception or part of the wedding or something. Okay, Kathy. I I left the room for 20 minutes yesterday, and I had to pick up the cat food and put it away so the dog didn't get into it earlier in the day. I wasn't even out of the room 20 minutes. I came back in, the cats acted like I had been starving them to death. I'm like, are you kidding me? Marty was all squeaking at me, and yeah, cats are ridiculous. Marty's gotten into the habit of scooping food out of the bowl with her paw, scooping it onto the floor, and then eating it. I'm not really sure why, because she never used to do that. So, I mean, the dog might have gotten into that because I'm not picking up individual pieces of cat food off the floor. But Simmy's not allowed to eat like the bowl of cat food because then she farts. And yeah, she sleeps next to my head, so that is not a situation that is going to happen. Not if I can help it. Oh my god! Will you get off the fan? What is wrong with you? Where are you hiding your crack stash? Because you're not sharing. Go away. She just jumped up on my oscillating fan for absolutely no reason. Ugh. I swear, these cats have a stash of drugs somewhere in here and they're not sharing. Hmm. Utterly ridiculous. So, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I did sign up for the family marathon, reseller family marathon. Oh, and this will be a relatively short live. I know I say that and then I go, 3 hours, but I've only got a little under 2 hours left on my StreamYard, so. Uh, how was my week? My week was okay. Um, my mom has a cold. She was only here for long enough to drop off groceries on Wednesday, and then she left, so I couldn't get my shipping done. But there you go. Thank you, Bonnie. Um, she told me yesterday she's starting to feel better. She's still a little stuffed up, but she's getting there. If she talks too long, she starts to cough. But she's kind of been doing that since she had COVID. So not really sure if that's an effect of the cold making it worse or what. But hopefully she'll be um, feeling better when Wednesday when she comes over. Yeah. What's funny is she's like, well, I'm not gonna hug you or kiss you because I'm not feeling good. I'm like, okay, good, because don't share. And 3 minutes later, she had forgotten something, and she came back in. And when she left, she hugged me and kissed me. I'm like, oh, please don't get me sick. So far, so good though. The cat food's not over the house. It's just in front of me. The wheelchair won't fit there. And do you know how much of an effort it would be to put double-sided tape on the damn wheels for that thing? Now the cat food goes right in front of me. I have one of those double-sided cat food bowls. Oh, cat, you've got a queen-size bed to walk on. Stop walking on me. Um, and I have to use my grabber, and then I put it down on the floor. I have a 2.5 gallon Ziploc bag with cat food in it. I scoop the cat food into that to keep it in front of me, and the bowl actually fits in the bag. So if I have to leave the dog in the room, I pick the bowl up and it goes right in the bag. But it goes when I'm sitting here, it goes right under my desk, my table here, so that the dog won't get into it. I can keep an eye on it, and I can reach it if I need to fill it or pick it up. Yeah. So yeah, there's no cat food all over my house. That's how you get bugs. Nope. The other day I went to pick up the cat food and put it in the bag because I pick it up and put it in the bag when I go to sleep too. So I went to go pick it up. Marty comes running out of nowhere because she completely ignored the food until I went to pick it up. And I was like, So I used the grabber. I grabbed a little bit of food out of the bowl, put it on the floor, and put the cat food away. I said, there, eat that and go to bed, go away. I was tired. I had to lay down. So yeah. I have occasionally forgotten and left the cat food down when I'm really tired and I just, for some reason, space it. I've gotten lucky though because the dog hasn't gotten into it. She's only actually gotten into the cat food a couple of times. And the one time I was like, I don't feel like picking it up. I'm just going to barricade it so the dog can't get to it. Yeah, she went under my bed to get to that. She went under the bed, cut the corner so she could get to it. And she ended up knocking one of the rails off the bottom of my bed because it's like a platform bed thing. Um, I, I heard the noise. I was out in the other room. I'm like, what was that? I came in and I, of course, didn't see anything because it's under the bed. And right, Kathy, they act like you're starving them to death. And I went to sit down, and the rail she had knocked off was right where I sit. I get out of the wheelchair, I sat down, I almost sunk onto the floor because that space was wide open. I'm like, what the hell? So I had to get back in the wheelchair, which was not easy when your ass is sinking through your bed, and lift the mattress, use the grabber, get a hold of the rail, and then try and figure out how the hell to put it back on because John is the one that put the bed together. I was not in the room at the time. Needless to say, I did get it put back together, so I'm just like, ugh. But they're just set in. They don't click in. They don't, lock in or anything. So if you bump them from underneath, they come off. So lesson learned. I don't leave the cat food down anymore because I don't want the dog under my bed bumping the rails off of it. Really? Really, cat? I swear they're doing this on purpose. How can we make mom lose her mind? Because now the cat's on a shelf she never goes on. Yep. Thank you. This is why I can't have nice things. At least not in this room. Hell, I'm afraid to put stuff out in the other room too. Marty got out there, and I didn't realize it. The one time she snuck out She went right under my wheelchair when I wasn't looking, and I ended up coming back in my room. That's when she snuck out, so I'm closing the door. I don't know she's out there, and I heard this weird noise, bang. Like, what the hell? And when I went back out there, she's at the door, squeaking to get back in. And the painting my mom had made me that was up on my mantle was on my shipping table. Luckily, it did not get damaged. But my crystal bear that Papa J had bought me from Lydia, that was on the table. It didn't break either. Nothing broke. But I'm like, do you know how easily that painting could have been damaged? I'm like, "Ugh." So this is why I have to go out of my room backwards, because I have to keep an eye on the cats to make sure they don't come near the door while I'm leaving. And if I go out the door forward, one, I can't turn around in that entryway. There's no space. So it's awkward to reach behind me to try and close the door. And two, I have to make sure these beasts don't get out. I have not, Bonnie. I haven't seen Papa Ron in a while. Hope he's doing all right. So, because I know that I mentioned it's difficult to maneuver. Well, it's difficult and frightening to maneuver the wheelchair trying to hold on to my laptop and go up my door backwards using only one hand, and people are backwards. Why are you going out your room backwards? Well, that's why. Because see, I can turn the doorknob to my door, and this is the house that Jack built, so it is not on a level. Um, the door will open on its own as long as the doorknob's been turned and it's not latched in. So hey, Stacy May, I can I back up to the door, turn the doorknob because I can reach that behind me, and then I go forward. The door opens on its own. The dog goes out the door, and then I go out backwards, and I can pull the door closed as I go backwards. However, to go out the door forwards, I would have to be half twisted around in the wheelchair to hold onto the doorknob to pull the door closed behind me. So, yeah, that's not happening. There's no way. Um, so I had to adjust, and I have to go through any door that I want closed. I have to go through backwards. Yay. And technically, in my entryway, there would be enough room to turn around, but there's a big ass trunk there, which is what we put the cat litter on. That's not being used. My mom buys cat litter in these bags. I don't know. Um, and that's where my case of water usually is, so that if I need to get water, it's in my entryway where there's no windows, so I don't have to go and get dressed or anything. I can just pop in the wheelchair and go through the door, grab water, and come back in here. Nobody sees me. Can't do that if I have to go through the rest of the house because I have no blinds or shades on my windows. So I don't want to horrify my neighbors. Ah, fat naked chick in a wheelchair. Ah, you know. You know how that goes. So what's everybody else up to today? I think I'm going to stop getting potato chips. The sodium levels are starting to get to me. So my mom will be happy because they're like $5 a bag, so she'll be thrilled. Save $10 every week. Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day because along with a high salt intake, you get fluid retention, and I get fluid retention, and my limbs don't work right. Like my legs and stuff don't want to move. That is not good Not good at all. So take a break from chips. Gonna kind of suck that I don't have something that I'll be able to just grab and munch on if I get hungry, but better in the long run, I suppose. I'm so tired. Sorry. This time, the lack of sleep was not for breathing. It was because I kept locking up and I couldn't move and it hurt. No salt chips are disgusting, Suzanne. What the fuck is wrong with you? No salt chip. And I tried Lay's lightly salted. Yeah, they're gross. It's like there's no flavor if there's no salt, and they had like no salt on them, and I'm like, no. It's like eating French fries with no salt. It's just not happening. I'd rather have none than have something gross. Next, you're gonna tell me to drink fucking coffee. You sure you're not sampling that booze now? Oh, cool. Sloths are awesome. Yeah, I gotta do a sale at some point. I gotta sell some of these beads, and electric bill is coming due. And I need to get that done. And hopefully have enough for StreamYard, because otherwise this will probably be my last live for the month. And I will miss you guys. Yeah, I have like an hour and 50 minutes left on StreamYard. So that kind of sucks. So is anybody watching the new Lord of the Rings thing on Amazon? Morning, Jen. That's $25. The cheapest plan for unlimited is $25. I don't want to do Restream. I want to do StreamYard. I don't need anything else complicating my life right now. I am gonna have to start making some things though. Um, no, not yet, Kodi. What did I say? Oh, the Lord of the Ring thing. Yeah, it's pretty good actually. It's after watching all six of the the Jackson movies. Now they go back in time, so it's hard to see characters that you're used to seeing six movies worth of a certain actor or actress in the role, and all of a sudden it's not them anymore. That always takes my brain time to adjust to. Like Galadriel and Elrond are played by different people, and although Galadriel loosely resembles Kate Blanchett, the guy they got playing Elrond in no way resembles the guy that played him for the movies already. So it's good though. I mean, it gives you more of the history of Middle Earth and the other people, like Aragorn's the last of the Numenorians, and it gives you a time. It takes place in a time when Numenor still existed, so you get to see the city and people and all that. So it's pretty cool. I like it. I won't give anything away though because a lot of people haven't started watching it. It's only in the fourth episode. Fourth episode released yesterday. Um, oh my god, so frustrating. At like 10 past midnight, right? I go to watch it, and I got three-quarters of the way through it, and I lost internet. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" My freaking laptop sat there buffering for 10 minutes, and I'm like, "Oh, something better happen soon. What the hell?" And all of a sudden, it played for another like 5 minutes, and then it buffered again. I'm like, "Okay, I'm just gonna shut this down and watch it tomorrow." And just as I was getting ready to lay down, it came back on. I'm like, mm. So I did end up getting to watch the rest of the episode, but don't you hate that? It's like you're almost done. You know something's gonna happen at the end. Hey, Danny Mae, what's up, bitch? The Lord of the Rings on Amazon, the new series that they're doing. Yeah, Bonnie, I was so mad. Yeah, I don't know what was up with my cable company on Thursday evening, Friday night. Because hey, Thomas, g'day, mate. My internet kept going out every 20 minutes or so. My internet would be out for like 15 minutes, and then it would come back on. Danny Mae, right? Yeah, but you're used to it. I'm not. Yeah, I don't really have a list of shows that I want to watch. But Lord of the Rings is I love Lord of the Rings, so that was I was like I didn't want to watch that, and so I was actually doing the countdown. Hurry up! And I was so happy they released the first two episodes on the first day, and then I found out we have to wait until every Friday for it. I'm like, no. That's how they did Wheel Before Time too. Also a very good series, but they need to make more of them because it ended, and I don't want it to end. Hmm. But yeah, the new Lord of the Rings, Ring of Power, whatever is good because this actually takes place before the Rings of Power were made, before all the rings were made. Hey, Jessica. So it's cool. It gives you a bit of history. I hadn't actually realized that. Cause see, I read The Hobbit when I was a kid, and it was way too complicated for my brain. It just jumped all over the place, and I just remember like getting lost reading it, and I was like, I put it down. I was like, nope, I'm done. Um, yep, I have to. But when they put it in the movies, and I remember trying to watch the animated Hobbit when they made that, and I was just like, this is stupid. Um, I didn't like the animated one at all. But when they did the live action one, I was like, yes. But I was watching a thing. It was I forget what YouTube channel it is, but they do this like the truth about different series, and they did the truth about the Lord of the Rings. It was a 2 hour video. It's very interesting. Um, and they kept talking about all these other Tolkien books, and I'm like, what? But yeah, I thought he had just written like The Hobbit, and then like the Fellowship of the Ring and things like that. So I'm like, wow, there's all these other books. I would have gotten lost with those too. But currently watching a video on Harry Potter. Creating the world of Harry Potter. The magic begins. Warner Brother Entertainment. And that sucker's an hour long. I've been watching it in spurts here and there. They do a lot of interviews with the actors and factual stuff. And before that, I was watching facts about Star Wars, all the different Star Wars movies and fan theories and opportunities that Star Wars missed. And they're all different videos. Some of them are only like 11 minutes long, but it's pretty cool. And that's on What Culture or What a Culture or something. So it's not that weird. During the summer, you got all the kids gaming and shit. So yeah, you sucking up all the internet like little sponges. I agree. But, calm crap is calm crap. What are you doing up there? Oh, this cat is going to drive me out of my tree. Now she's up on my baker's rack, getting into things, sticking her nose in bags she doesn't belong in. Ugh. I don't think there's anything breakable up there, though, as long as she doesn't get on the shelf above it, which she just looked at. You better stay off. Really? A paw in the bag. Yeah, you don't like that sound, do you? You better pay attention. For some reason, Onyx does not Onyx does not like the sound of an empty water bottle being crumpled. I don't know why, but it does get her attention. So if every once in a while you hear that, that's what I'm doing. You might remember when you were worshipped as a god, but I know that's not happening now. So fuck you. Get out of my shed. Speaking of gaming, my son, who has not kept his promise to help mom, streamed the other day his gaming. First streaming from the PS5. So I looked up how much PS5s cost. Holy fuck. So I'm glad he's enjoying himself. Yeah. Danny May. Well, I know how to get your attention too, then, don't I, bitch? Yeah, my mom asked him like 3 months ago when he thought he'd be able to start helping me again. And he's like, well, right now we have to get the car and we have to catch up on rent because they were all sick for so long. And blah, blah, blah. He's like, probably not till next month. That was 3 months ago. And now he bought a PS5. So I don't think help is coming. I just get that funny feeling, Thanks for that. Yeah, and what's really funny is what he told me a long time ago that when he was able to upgrade his PlayStation system like to the next generation, that I would get the PS4 he's got, which is actually John's PS4 because he broke his PS4. I don't see that coming over here either. Not that it really matters because Talon broke the PS4. You can't put a disc in it. So my son just downloads all his games. I'm doing all right, Jessica. Hanging in there, except for this damn cat driving me crazy today. And here she is. Go away. Come on, off. Go. Busy. Go away. Keep going. Keep going. Go, go, go. Get off my stuff. She walked all the way to one side of me, and then now she's walking all the way back. Good night, Thomas. Sweet dreams. Bobby. Good morning. So yeah, I don't know what Talon was doing, but whenever he was in the room room with the TV and the PlayStations, because John had a PS3 and a PS4. Issa never supervised him. John and I supervised him. He wasn't allowed to put discs in the game systems because I caught him forcing it one time, and I'm like, ah, no. But his Issa never. He would just pull the disc out, get his fingerprints all over it, shove it in the drive, and it might play it, it might not. Issa didn't pay any attention to him, so hence the loading section to put a disc in broke. That's what happens when you do not supervise your 6-year-old. But when my son's PlayStation 4 died, he took John's after John had passed. Issa tried to get it back from him, and he was like, "No, that was my dad's. I'm keeping it." So, and it was already out of the house because he wasn't living here then. So, there's no way she could go get it. Now that big ass monster TV of hers is still here. The space TV. There's something seriously wrong with this cat this morning. She is all into places that she doesn't normally go. And for once, Marty is actually just sleeping. She's in my laundry basket sleeping. But Onyx is actually looking around the room like, hey, what can I get into next? Weird. I am that shell. Don't do it, cat. I will throw something at you. My BB-8 is up there. Stay off. Don't mess with BB-8. Or my little planter that Talon got me. Well, that I bought from Talon when he was doing one of those school fundraiser things. It's got a little wooden stand, and it's just like it's a little bit bigger than a mug, and you can get it customized like with an initial on it. So it's like a pencil scribble, and it's purple, and it has a K on it. That's what's done with the purple scribble. It has a K for Kodi. Calm down, Danny Mae. Damn. Go give Tig a treat. He needs to keep his chunk of butt in good form. Bobby, I think she's excited to see you. I don't know about anybody else, but that just came across my screen like 4 times. Wow. Oh, that looks awesome. That looks awesome, Darlene. Oh, sure, your Wi-Fi did that. We know. You just got all excited to see Bobby. Your Wi-Fi said, Danny Mae doesn't get picked on enough by Kodi. Let's do this. It is going to be awesome when it's done. It looks fantastic so far. Breathe, Danny Mae. Calm down. Stop looking at me like I owe you money. See? She's so sassy. Get away from my phone. Come on, move. You just went all the way around behind me to walk on me in front of me. You need help, cat. Yes, they're going to be moving to somewhere with better Wi-Fi. They test it. I told her, I said, make sure any place you go, you test their Wi-Fi. If it sucks, tell them, I'm sorry, we can't stay here. Your Wi-Fi sucks. Go off. Get off my dog. Go on, shoot. Oi. The dog is looking at me like, make it go away. Oi. Because, it's much warmer 10 minutes away from where she is now. Right, Bobby? Not going to get much difference 10 minutes away. Except for the Wi-Fi. Watch, it'll snow and a Wi-Fi will die. I was watching one of those tiny house shows where this very pretentious person from San Diego, well, I was sitting in my condo in San Diego when COVID hit, and like 200 families suddenly stayed home, and it was much too claustrophobic for me. I'm thinking, why were they all in your condo? Um, and the mountains were calling me. I'm like, really? So she uh she got a tiny house that she named Lily Pad. It's purple. It was actually a pretty cool house. Um, but then she upgraded to one that was a little bit bigger, and then had a second section built that's attached by a porch. So she has a guest house, and and then she has her house. But yeah, she's one of those clients you don't want to have. Just by the way she was talking, you could tell she harassed the shit out of her contractors about what she wanted done and how she wanted it done. And yeah, I'm like, oh no, I would not have been able to deal with you, lady. But she had her now, mind you, the mountains were calling her. She ended up living in Arizona. Really? And she's in a tiny home slash RV park. And it is the most sterile looking place I have ever seen. Bye, Jessica. Have a great day. It's okay, darling. Um, but there's like no trees. It's just I'm like, no. I've seen the parks where they have tiny homes that are in the woods, and those are nice because you have like your little rural area and trees. But this was just it's like and it's off a main road, so it almost looks like a place that would sell them, like they're out for display or something. Yeah, I'm like, no. Like that place looks so sterile and boring and ugh. There was another couple, and you can tell by the way their homes were decorated, they were both pagan. They each had their own house. They were married, but they each had their own house. And then they had the shared space in between it, and they built a path from one house to the other. It was kind of cool though, because like they'd still prepare meals together. And she said that he had a better TV than her, so if they wanted to watch a movie, they'd go to his house. Uh, but they slept at her house. I'm like, it's kind of cool that they had their own spaces, though, you know. But the way they were decorated, I mean, they had natural stone. Like I'm looking, I'm like, that's malachite, that's jade, that's you know. I'm like picking out all the stones that are all over their houses, and both of them were. Um, it was just really cool. Her the main decoration over her couch was the triple moon, you know, and I'm like, as soon as she showed inside the door, I'm like, oh, hello, pagan. She's got a broom hanging up sideways on her, right under her loft and things like that. I'm like, I know who lives there. It was kind of cool though. It was very nicely decorated, and both of them were actually really nicely decorated. So tiny houses are a lot bigger now than they used to be. They used to be like this little. You would have to like sit on the toilet and pop down a desk in order to have a workspace, and they're not like that anymore. Um, I actually saw one that was in, I think it was in New Zealand, and they had built a very large enclosed porch on the front of it, so you could enclose it so that it was insulated, or you could take the glass off or like fold it back so that you would have screens for when the weather was nice. So it actually doubled the living space, and the bed was one that like was on hydraulics, so it went all the way up to the ceiling, and then when you wanted to go to sleep, it came down. So you had all the living space and everything until you wanted to go to bed. It was also done so that the kitchen was wide enough for the woman who lived there. She used a walker, so the kitchen was wide enough that she could maneuver around there with her walker and eventually a wheelchair, which was predicted on the horizon. And they had made her like a handicap bathroom, so the shower stall was actually big enough to wheel a wheelchair into to take a shower if when that's necessary. At the time, it had like the shower chair in it, so it was a really nice setup. And I was like, hell, I could do that. It had a ramp on it, so it wasn't stairs, and they had the hydraulic bed because, of course, she wouldn't be able to use a loft. A lot of those tiny houses, you sleep in a loft, you have to climb a ladder to get to. I'm like, nope. But a lot of them now they do it so that they've incorporated stairs into them, so they're pretty cool actually. I watch, oh, what is the name of that channel? Living Big in a Tiny House. And the guy that does that, he's like 6'6". So every time he goes into a tiny house, when he goes up in the lofts, he has to like bend over halfway, and it's funny. But his name is Bryce, and him and his wife actually live in a tiny house. He actually did a segment on living in a yurt. He lived in a yurt for like a month so that he could review it, and he liked it, except that of course the bathroom was not in the yurt, so he had to go out and follow this elevated pathway and suspension bridge to get to the bathroom, the outhouse. And in the process, I guess he had broke his foot at some point. So trying to maneuver that, he said, was tricky. Yeah, I would imagine so. But overall, yurts are very comfortable things to live in if you have the right furniture in it. It looked very comfortable. Personally, I think his wife kicked him out of the house for a month. Morning, Tammy. And I just watched a thing this morning. See, this is what happens when I don't sleep. I watched a thing this morning on innovative tents. And they did have the pod tents. I love the concept of the pod tents. Have you guys ever seen those? Where you have like the central pod tent. It looks like a little hobbit house type of thing. But you can attach little hallways to it and little pods on the end of the hallway. You can attach as many different pods as you want to these things. So, you could have a whole complex of little tent pods that are all attached to each other. Like, a house with rooms and shit. It's pretty cool. But they have one now called the Orange Solar Tent. And it's actually mostly black. but it does have orange accents on it. And it has these 3 solar panel things that curve over the top of it that automatically move in the direction that the sun is in for maximum storage of energy. And it has pouches inside it. Yeah, kind of like a gerbil house. It has pouches inside of it, so you take your devices, you put them in the pouches, and they automatically charge. You don't have to plug them in. I'm like, I like that because mine doesn't like to charge. And you can sleep 4 adults in each one, so they look pretty cool. They probably cost like $50,000 or something for a goddamn tent, but they looked cool. The ones that I'm not real keen on are the suspension tents. They have some that are. It's not really a tent; it's a covered hammock. It's a hammock that you zip yourself into. I'm like, hello, hanging coffin cocoon. And they have those now for family size. And I'm like, they showed this. Hi, bitch. Have a good day. They showed one that had a guy go over and grab an infant off of it. Now, this thing is like 4 feet, 4.5 feet off the ground. And his toddler was in it along with 2 other kids that were like, I don't know, around 5 years old, maybe. And I'm thinking, any one of them could unzip that fucking thing and fall out. I'm like, no, that's not safe for children. What the hell? So, yeah. And then they have the bubble ones that hang, and you see them all the time on like these, hey, be adventurous on your getaway, and they're hanging off the side of a cliff and shit. And I'm like, nope. They're supposed to be able to hold up to like 3.5 tons of weight. I'm like, I'm not trusting that shit. I do like the ones they have that are the bubble tents. Not the ones that are completely clear because, hello, stop staring at me, I'd wake up and it'd be like a scene out of Bambi with all the animals standing at the edge of the damn thing looking in at you. But they do have some that have the bottom half of them are like a solid plastic, and then the top of it is clear, which would be really fucking awesome during a thunderstorm. Just saying. That would be amazing during a thunderstorm. They use them a lot at like a construction site where sticking a mobile home or something isn't a feasible option. So workers and whatnot can stay in the tents. At least that's what they said on the video. But it's amazing what they do with tents these days and glamping. And apparently hanging your children from trees. I don't know. It's a lot different from back in my day when we just had a little pup tent and you tried to squeeze your ass in there and someone else is like, hey, can I stay in there with you? And you're like, where? I used to love camping until that fateful White Mountain trip. Christian camp ruined camping for me. It ruined it. They kept being I had a subject that I wanted to bring up, but I keep forgetting what it was. And it's funny because it's the same subject I wanted to bring up last live, and I forgot what it was until about 20 minutes after I ended the live, and I'm like, oh, damn it. And now I'm doing it again. I should have written it down. Every once in a while, I need to write shit down. I'll remember it later and be like, shit. Oh, and I hope Ron is feeling better. And safe travels to Victoria tomorrow because she's flying back home. What else? I can't think of anything. I'm so tired. But I got about 6 minutes left till I hit the hour mark, and shutting it down at the hour mark this time. We'll make that 5 minutes. So if y'all have links or anything you want to drop, go ahead and drop them. This way, I might be able to do like one more live or a sale or something. Oh shit! Thank you. Hold on, just a minute. Might not have to end it after all. Because someone, I don't know if they want me to say who, but someone popped StreamYard money into my PayPal. Probably help if I use the right card. Mm-hmm. I forgot my zip code. Wow, it's been a long time since I've sent mail. Oh, shut up, phone. I have no mail in front of me. Let's see. What the hell? It's declining my card. What the hell? Well, that's why. Huh. Wrong security code. That's what happens when I'm brain dead and I try to do things. There we go. I can't see the chat right now, so if anybody's talking to me, I'll get back to you in a minute. Ta-da! Thank you, thank you, thank you! Woohoo! Oh no, Kathy. Hey, TJ. See what I missed while I was gone. So now I don't have to end it early. Thank you, Jen. Well, Darlene, you know, it's funny because usually I don't, but when days go by and it's just like a passing thought, like, oh, that irritated me, then yeah, I do. Shake. Cat, go away. Yeah, we'll celebrate. Yay! Thank you. Of course, I don't know how long I can maintain for today, but we can go a little bit longer. At least I'm not gonna be in a panic now. Oh my god, this damn charger. It's I'm sorry, it's not the charger, it's my phone. Charging port in my phone is damaged. So it disconnects, reconnects. Ding, if I look at it. Hell, my damn webcam stopped working the other day. And Susanna's. If I even looked at the cord for the camera, it stopped working. Oh, nice, Bobby. Badass. What's up, Amy? Yeah, stairs are the devil. I don't like stairs at all. Of course, I can't do stairs now, but before, I have not seen her. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen Jennifer yet this morning. Yeah, Bobby, I get that. Believe me, I get that. I get so frustrated. My my mom was complaining about how she can't do anything like she used to do, and it's so frustrating for her not to be able to just get things done. And I'm sitting in a wheelchair looking at her going, really? You know? I'm like, wow. Okay. I mean, I get it. My mom's always been super active, but she is 90 and she did have COVID that affected her. And, you know, instead of adapting to it and warning her limitations so that it doesn't affect her as badly, she just tries to go and go and go and go until she can't do it anymore. And that's not healthy for her. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, she's 90 and she's still in better shape than I am, but nobody's helping at the house. And she's been sick with a cold for about a week. And when she was over here, she's like, nothing's gotten done in 3 days. The kitchen is disgusting and stuff is everywhere. I'm like, make them do their own crap. I'm so tired of hearing about how nobody does anything in the house, but she doesn't do anything about it. Kick them the fuck out. I don't know. Do something. Put locks on everything so they can't access anything if they don't clean up after themselves. She does, Jennifer. She watches those like Judge Judy shows. Yeah, Bobby, I have one of those. I mean, I can't sit on it if I was walking with it because of the weight restriction, because it was John's. So of course it's not for heavier people, but um, yeah, she won't ever kick them out. She's too attached to my grandson. But I mean, the grandkids are 15 and 17 years old, and even though my grandson is undiagnosed but does have Asperger's, um, he can still do things. You know. Oh, that's good, Bobby. Yeah, John's was like I think like 200, 250 or something. So I mean, I personally would never try sitting on it, but it did help when I had the fluid retention and things like that, and I couldn't walk without getting so winded. I had to lean on the wall. That sucked. But I mean, my daughter doesn't do anything. She goes to school and don't get near the speakers, hotness. Good luck. Um, she goes to school. She works part time at the college on weekends, and I'm not sure if she's still. I think she's already done with her externship at the vet. I don't know if she got hired on to work there or not. My mom was saying she's not working except at the college, so that's only on weekends. Y'all are talking about earplugs. What she needs are leashes for the girls. Keep a hold of them. So my granddaughter will cook for herself, but she leaves an absolute disaster behind her. She never brings any dishes back downstairs. I'm like, stop letting her take food in her room. You know? I'm like, here's what you do: get padlocks on all the cabinets in the refrigerator. Nobody gets in without you knowing about it. And anything that gets taken out better get thrown away, taken care of, cleaned up, and brought back downstairs. Whatever applies. Or they don't get in it again. But she just lets them do whatever they want and then complains about it. My mom kind of likes being a victim, I guess. Kind of a cruel thing to say, but she's always been like that. It's one of the reasons my whole family blackballed me is because my mom complaining about me, but never telling them anything. Like she would be like, "Well, darling, borrow money from me again." So they all thought that I was this huge mooch, but she never told them that I constantly tried to pay her back and she wouldn't take the money. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, she just she's got this because my daughter threatened to move out and take James and the kid, when they were younger. I'm like, she's got no job, she has no money. How is she going to move out with two kids and a dog and like three cats? It's just not happening, you know. Yeah, it is. And my daughter talks to my mom horribly. She's constantly yelling at her or blowing her off or ignoring her. So, you know, it frustrates me so bad that she gets so frustrated with the monsters that she herself has created. I mean, when I was a kid, I'm yeah, when my mom goes, they won't know what to do. I mean, my grandson won't even make his own waffle. She's and all he's going to do is put it either in the toaster or the microwave. He's like, Grammy, can you make me my waffle? Oh, what the fuck, boy? You know, if you're that hungry, you'll learn how to make it. So yeah. Letting them live there rent free. By the way, my my daughter doesn't pay rent. She doesn't pay for anything except the internet. I'm like, tell you what, you let them come live here, and I'll come live at your house. We just had to build a ramp so I can get in. Oh, that's good, Amy. I mean, when I was growing up, I couldn't leave a glass down and go to the bathroom without it getting scooped up and taken into the kitchen. Or, I'd be like, I'd have a quarter of a glass of drink left, and my mom's like, "Don't forget to put that in the kitchen when you're done with it." Can I finish it first? You know. I would have to pick up when I was real little. I had to pick up my toys before I was done playing with them. Hello, Beastman. Um, I mean, it was crazy. It looked like we lived in a museum showpiece of a house. It didn't even look like the house was lived in. And my daughter and the grandkids have destroyed my mom's house. I mean, yeah. Hello, Clarice. Yeah, John. I mean, they wouldn't be able to because my daughter's not working. Oh yeah, she was such a fanatic neat freak when I was a kid that I can't even. I mean, it shocked me when I moved here, and this is 22 years ago. My oldest daughter was 11. I moved here, and my mom's house was not pristine, and I'm like, what's going on? What happened? Did I go into an alternate universe or something? I mean, yeah, I couldn't have a mess at all. Not even when I was playing. The worst part is if the kids in the neighborhood came over, she did the same thing to them. They'd put something down, and she'd be like, "Nope, don't leave that there." You know, it was crazy. It was so uncomfortable to live there, and there was no eating in the bedrooms. You ate in the kitchen or the dining room. You didn't take food in other rooms. You know, but my granddaughter takes so many plates up to her room that my mom actually had to tell her, "Okay, we have no dishes in the kitchen. You need to clean out your room." You know, yeah, she was a fanatical neat freak. I mean, when my dad sold his business, he got over $1 million for his share of the business, and he wanted to do something nice for my mom, and she was always cleaning. So he's like, okay, I'll hire a maid service to come in at least once a week so that you don't have to be cleaning the house. So they were supposed to come on a Thursday. On Wednesday, she made me help her clean the house top to bottom, scrubbing toilets, scrubbing the floor. Now, she's a woman who will clean her kitchen floor on her hands and knees with a scrub brush. I'm like, Mom, they invented mops a long time ago. She goes, it doesn't get it as clean. Um, my dad came home from golfing, found us cleaning the house, and goes, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm cleaning the house. He goes, the maid service is coming tomorrow. She goes, well, I don't want them to think we're pigs. He goes, are you going to do this every time the maid service is going to be coming? She goes, well, of course. He goes, okay. He picked up the phone and canceled the maid service. I don't know, Jen. That's just how she was. Yeah, Kathy, I could see that. I could. It's that whole not food not touching thing, wasn't it? I can understand that. I mean, occasionally we'd be able to take like a sandwich into the TV room, the den or whatever. Um, but do not let my mom find any crumbs, or you will never hear the end of it, ever, ever. And if we had like a bowl of ice cream or something, we could take that, but we couldn't take them to the bedrooms. There was absolutely no food allowed in the bedrooms themselves. But if we wanted to eat a bowl of ice cream or something in the living room, or cookies or something in other parts of the house, that was fine. But no crumbs. And oh my God, do not leave your bowl there for the ice cream to dry in it. She would get so pissed off. Now I gotta scrub it. Beep, 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 beep. No, you don't, Mom. Soak it for 10 minutes in hot water. It comes clean. You're fine. You know? It's called keeping control of your environment. It's a way of controlling things around you, because my mom came out of a very abusive, physically abusive marriage, married my dad, who was then verbally abusive. My mom figured verbally abusive was the better option of the two, I guess, and stayed married to him. But it's a way of her being able to have some control over something. Yeah. Yeah, I get that, Kathy. So now this is one of the reasons why my mom got so upset with me. Um, bye, badass. Go make that money, girl. Um, when I told my mom, because my mom complained to my aunt that every time she came over here, she was doing dishes. And my aunt felt I was perfectly capable of doing dishes because, of course, my aunt doesn't understand the nerve pain in my hands or the fact that the angle of the sink while sitting in a wheelchair is extremely painful in my back. But that's irrelevant, you know. That doesn't matter for anything because my aunt said so. Um, so when my aunt was going to be coming over here that day to help move, my son's shit into the storage room, my mom said, "Could you please try and make sure there are no dirty dishes?" And I'm like, "Okay, why?" She goes, "Well, because Karen's upset that I'm doing dishes every time I come over here." And I'm like sitting there going, "Then why'd you tell her?" You know? Um, so I didn't ask my mom to do dishes again since then. And but she'll come over and she'll just start doing the dishes. Well, the last time she did dishes, my mom doesn't know how to wash plastic, like the um, Glad or Rubbermaid little food containers. If they're greasy at all, my mom can't doesn't get them clean. And she washed like 5 of them, and when I went to grab one, it had all this greasy residue in it and on it because she fills the sink with water and throws them all in. So whatever's on one gets on everything else. So I had to rewash all of them, including the lids, which she had not washed. She had just rinsed off. And I'm like, because I watched her do it. That and she leaves soap because she doesn't rinse her hands when she's doing the dishes. So if she's holding the dish in one hand and that hand has soap on it, she rinses the dish. It's still going to have soap on the container because you've got soap all over your hand. She'll just put it in the drying rack. And I'm like, "Mom, that's got soap on it." She goes, "It's fine." I'm like, "No, it will make me sick. My system is hypersensitive to chemicals. So, like soap." I'm like, "I really don't feel like pissing out my ass, Mom. Could you make sure that's rinsed correctly?" And so the last time she was here, that I had dishes in the sink, she was like, "You want me to do the dishes?" And I'm like, "Nope." She's like, "Why not?" And I'm like, "Because I had to rewash them after you wash them, and that's kind of pointless and a extraneous use of water." So she got huffy because I told her she wasn't cleaning the dishes right, and she like just turned around and walked out. I'm like, "Oh my god." Yeah, she literally pouted for about 20 minutes over that. But there was no way I could say it any kinder than that because it's true. I mean, she wasn't washing them. I mean, she's 90, her eyesight's going. She's standing in front of a window in the daylight. You can tell if something's still dirty. I mean, that's how I check them is I hold them up a little bit so the light shines through it, you know? Because the lighting in my kitchen itself is not that great. Um, just check the fucking thing before you're done. Because when you're washing something that's got like, because I cook with when I make my chicken dish, it uses olive oil, so olive oil gets coated on everything. Well, you have to wash it with soap and rinse it and wash it again. You have to go over the whole thing again with soap, and that gets it off. And she didn't get that. She would just run the sponge over it and think it was good and done. Nope. So I was like, well, no wonder I haven't been feeling good. My mom's trying to poison me. Hey, Beverly. Um, so yeah, where my mom was such a cleaning fanatic, telling her she didn't clean something correctly apparently offended her very, very badly. But Issa used to do that too. She wouldn't wash things correctly, and she was notorious for not rinsing soap out. Um, Dawn and I got in the habit of every time we went to get a bowl or a plate or something, we would actually smell the item first to see if it smelled like dish soap. And if it did, we rinse it first and then dry it before we used it. Because we were wondering why we were running to the bathroom so much. We all got the shits. We had stomach cramps and we're like, what is going on? Because I was doing the cooking, so I know it wasn't food poisoning from my food. And that's what it was. She was leaving soap residue on everything. I don't understand how people can't wash something correctly. I mean, I get it with my mom because her eyesight's not that good anymore. She's getting up there, but Issa didn't have that excuse. Of course, she also thought you make shrimp scampi with a powdered mix. Yeah, it was that and then some, Bobby. Whew. And when you only have one bathroom, not good. So, yeah, she once bragged to me that she knew how to cook perfectly fine. I'm like, how come you never do it? And when you do it, we're all like, let's order out. I'm like, you can't cook. It took me 15 minutes to explain to her how to make boxed macaroni and cheese because she didn't know how to measure anything. I mean, hello. So she goes, well, I just don't have the right things to cook. I'm like, we got a whole kitchen full of stuff. I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, well, I can make shrimp scampi. I'm like, really? I love shrimp scampi. Go ahead. I'm like, at the time I still have my foot. So I was like, all right. I said, I'll go to the store and get the stuff. And she goes, they don't have it. I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, well, they don't have the powdered mix. I'm like, what powdered mix? She goes, for the scampi part. What? She's like, that's how you make shrimp scampi. It's a powdered mix for the butter sauce. And I'm like, no. She goes, yes, it is. I work at Red Lobster. I know. I'm like, oh my God, I'm never eating at Red Lobster ever again. I'm like, are you serious? They make it with a powdered mix. I'm like, oh my God. That's not cooking, honey. Yeah. The one time she made turkey, it turned into sawdust. Yeah, she doesn't know how to cook. My son has done that. My son has done that, Beverly. When we were out of milk, he's used extra butter to do it. But I mean, she didn't know what 4 tablespoons was on a stick of butter. The measurements are on the paper. I'm like, what? Cut it in half, stupid. I'm like, yeah, Red Lobster. Ew. So I will tell you, she did finally master the boxed macaroni and cheese. Kraft macaroni and cheese she was able to make eventually well enough that I could eat it, which was cool. But it should not have taken as long as it did. I mean, she swore up and down to John that she made the most amazing lasagna. Darlene. So John was like, oh, cool, I love lasagna. And now we had 2 pounds of hamburger sitting in the fridge. And then we had like 3 individually packaged hamburger in the freezer, like 1 pound each, right? And John was like, well, yeah, right, Stoker. Oh, that stuff is so gross. John's like, well, Kodi can help you. And she goes, no, I don't need any help. I know how to do it. I'm like, and I walked away. I'm like, So I'm in my room and I hear clang. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? John's in the other room going, what the fuck was that? And I go out and she had just dropped one of the frozen things of hamburger into the pan. I'm like, what you doing? She goes, I'm making lasagna. I'm like, with frozen hamburger? I'm like, it's going to take a while, And she goes, well, what else am I supposed to use? I said, I don't know, maybe the fresh hamburger that's in the fridge. John was in the other room going, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" So I rescued the frozen, put it back in the bag because she hadn't turned the heat on the pan yet, so we were good. And so I took out the fresh hamburger and crumpled that up into the pan. I was like, there you go. And then she turns the pan on high. I'm like, holy fuck, what are you trying to do? Kill us? I'm like, you don't cook it on high. I'm like, I thought you knew how to cook. She goes, well, that's how I cook it. I was like, you have no taste buds, do you? Because you're going to burn it. Part of it's going to be burnt, part of it's going to be raw, and we're all going to die. I'm like, what is wrong with you? She's like, fine, you do it. She goes stomping out. Now the hamburger's already cooking. I'm stuck making lasagna, right? I'm like, what the fuck? So I made the lasagna. John loved it. She was pissed and refused to eat it. Mm. Yeah. So she then she insisted she made the best cupcakes in the world. Yeah, no, she did not. Her best cupcakes in the world came from a box. I'm like, what you doing? She was making my famous cupcakes. I had picked up the box of Betty Crocker cake mix. I'm like, really? I think Betty Crocker made them famous, not you. Like, oh my god. Yeah. I mean, I make stuff, cakes and brownies and stuff like that. I make them out of the box and they come out pretty good. But don't claim to know how to do something if it's coming out of a box and you're claiming you're cooking it from scratch. You know what I'm saying? Because my mom actually knew how to cook all that from how to, bake from scratch. She used a funny thing called a recipe and, a bowl and mixed all the ingredients together. And hell yeah, my mom's cakes were awesome. And of course, she used the same batter for cupcakes and stuff. So, I mean, it's not really baking when you just add oil and eggs. Yeah, you know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't have a problem with things being cooked out of a box as long as it tastes good, but don't claim that you can cook. If you need a powdered scampi mix, um, or you're just adding a couple ingredients to a box, that's like saying, hey, I'm a master chef. I can make pancakes. And then you get the little things in the bottle that you add water to the line and you shake it, which those pancakes are actually pretty good. But, you just shake it and pour the batter into the pan. That's not cooking, really. You're just heating up the batter until it forms food, And yes, she did try that and she did fuck those up. John was so pissed off. He was like, damn, I was looking forward to my pancakes. I don't know what happened. I was like, you happened. Get out of the way. Because I had 2 other bottles that I put aside because I knew she'd fuck it up. I don't know. I just don't know. She was constantly claiming to be able to do things that she really had no comprehension of. She is doing good with her business, though, so kudos to her for being able to fill out a form on a computer. I hope she never runs into any problems because she's screwed. But her accounting and her tax prep stuff is going well, so that's a good thing. Beverly, I could see you doing that. Her boyfriend, fiance, I don't know if they ever got married type of thing. That guy wanted to move to Texas, but she can't do tax prep in Texas or her accounting because she has to be a certified CPA. She has to be licensed to do that in Texas. So she told him she won't move there. Because see, she tried to get the licensing. She tried to go to school for it, and after failing a couple of courses the first year, she asked her student advisor if she could go into remedial classes. I'm like, they have remedial classes in college. Why would you be in college if you need remedial classes? But they did have them, and they put her in there, and she failed that too. So, yeah, no licensing for her. So she won't move to Texas, which is good because I don't want Talon going that far away. But she hasn't brought him over since I had COVID. But at least I know he's still here in town. You know what I mean? Yeah, I probably would have laughed too. Take me away, officer. I have committed grand theft muffin. And always infamous was her lard cookies. Apparently, this is a thing in Maryland. I don't know if it's popular anywhere else. My mom never made lard cookies. But the first year that John was dating her, she made lard cookies for Christmas. And he brought over a container with lard cookies. Bye, Jen. Have a great day. And I'm looking at these things, and I'm like, they're cookies that you make with lard, like a sugar cookie, but you use lard instead of butter. Yeah, I looked at it and I kind of smelled it, and it did not smell appetizing. And then I went to put it back in the container, and I accidentally dropped it on the floor, which of course my son's dog Coco was all like, "Oh, food!" And she come running over to it, and she sniffed it and picked it up in her mouth and spit it out. I'm like, "All right, I'm not eating that. If the dog won't even eat it, nope." And I took the whole container, threw it in the trash. Yeah, no. You know it's not edible if the dog spits it out. Okay. He goes, "Yeah, Dodge wouldn't eat them either, her dog." Is it? Well, she grew up in Maryland, so yeah. I don't know. I don't know how the girl survived. I mean, she must have lived on top ramen or something. You know what I mean? Because she can't cook. Of course, she has absolutely no taste buds. She got Talon these chicken meatball things. They're from a farmhouse, I think. And he was, how old was he? 3 or 4. And she made like 5 of them. They're little. Yeah, large for cooking. Thing of the past because it's nasty. Uh, and she put like 5 of them on the plate, nuked them. Ew, Kathy, that's gross. And she handed her the plate. I'm like, whoa, hold on, those are hot. And grabbed them, and I cut them all in half so that they cool off faster. Kid's sitting there going, "Can I have my food, please?" And I gave him to him, and he took 1 bite of 1/2 and spit it out. And I'm like, "What's the matter, baby?" He goes, "Ew." And I looked at her. I'm like, "Have you tried these?" And she's like, "No." Yeah, Crisco's like lard, but it's not. Lard comes from animals. Crisco is a shortening. It comes from vegetables. My mom uses Crisco when she makes her frosting. She uses Crisco. I remember we had a huge tub of it. I never ate it off a spoon though. Ew. So I grabbed one of the halves and I tried it, and all I could taste was chemicals in this thing. It was the most horrible thing I think I have ever tasted, aside from Vegemite or Marmite. I tried Marmite. Oh, horrible. But the meatball came close. And I was like, "Oh, you can't feed those to him. They're gross." And he goes, "Ew, gross." I love that kid. So I took them away, and I was going to throw them away. She goes, "Wait, I'll eat them." And I'm like, Yeah, not my mom. She uses powdered sugar and Crisco. And her frosting was amazing. But so she grabs one, she eats it. She goes, "Oh, these are good." John's like, "Give me a half of that." And I gave it to him and he spit it out in his hand and it was like, "Oh my god, those are horrible." I'm like, "Right?" Yeah, Issa had no taste buds whatsoever. She thought they were delicious. I'm like, "Well, you got a whole bag of them in there to eat." And she did. She ate them all. Oh, that sucks, Darlene. I've never had food allergies. I mean, I have food I don't like celery. I used to love celery when I was a kid. I used to love bananas too when I was a kid. And I don't know, I had some kind of traumatic experience that I don't remember or something because now I don't like either one of them. Gibble. So, but I don't know. All I know is Eve's got no taste buds. She couldn't cook. And we had to get Chinese food one year for Thanksgiving that she turned the turkey into sawdust. It's horrible. It was it was a beautiful bird too until she got a hold of it. But and it didn't help that John was like, "See, you should have let Bear make dinner." I made the biscuits. Well, I didn't make the biscuits. I put the biscuits on the cookie sheet and put them in the oven. They came out of the Pillsbury biscuit bag because I like the frozen ones better than the canned ones, especially for holidays because they're fluffier. But she was not happy. Every time he said I did something better than her, she would get so mad. I'm like, look, stop being jealous because it's the truth. I'm I cook better than you. It's a reality. She doesn't cook in her relationship now. He does. I've had issues with all different kinds of food ever since I got my gallbladder out because your gallbladder produces bile, which helps break down the fat in foods. So without that, like grease through a goose, man, food is a short-term rental. Doesn't matter what I'm eating, but some things trigger worse. Like if I eat ice cream, I can guarantee I'll be in and out of the bathroom multiple times within 20 minutes. I'll be in and out of there for the next couple hours. Chinese food's another one. So if I'm gonna eat a food that I know is going to affect me, it better be worth it. Like Chinese food and ice cream. I want Chinese food. I haven't had Chinese food in freaking 3 years. Mm, Chinese food is my favorite. But the place that I get Chinese food doesn't deliver. They're not hooked up with any delivery service. And the other place that's here that does do delivery, their food wasn't all that great the last time we had it there. So, and the reviews on DoorDash are not good. Well, they're mixed. Some people have no problems, some people have horrible problems. So, because yes, I read the reviews on I think, 3 occasions in the past 3 years. Tina and Susanna were in here. They're shopping for booze for the wedding. I don't know if they're still here or not, but they were. They're shopping for wedding gifts, booze. I think she's sampling it because she was silly. Oh, that's good, Bobby. Well, the place that is next to the Walmart, that's only about 5 minutes from my house. You know, that Walmart where my mom lost my rent. Um, they have the closest to northern Chinese food that I have found here in South Carolina. Um, yeah, most places won't do MSG anymore after it got blasted in the news way back years ago. Um, most places in South Carolina, well, most places in my town that I've had Chinese food at, they have saffron rice, the yellow rice, which is good, but it's not what I'm used to. I mean, I grew up with, fried rice that was brown because they use soy sauce to make it. So I don't know. It was a while ago. Um, and like they do their sweet and sour chicken is cooked the same way as they do up north, and I've had it in some places that they automatically put the sauce on it, and I don't like that. I usually tell them not to include sauce at all because I'm always afraid they're going to put it directly on, and I don't like the sweet and sour sauce. I just like the chicken, and you can't get that chicken without something on it. Like they use the same chicken for honey chicken and coconut chicken, but those both come cooked in the sauce. So you get the sweet and sour chicken, and the chicken is separate, and then you get the tub of sauce, which we always throw away. So I'm constantly telling them no sauce, and they constantly put it in there anyway. I miss Chinese food. My mom mentioned, she's like, well, I'd go get you some, but I always leave before they open because they don't open until 11, and she's usually out of here by 10:30. And I'm like, what? You can't wait another 30 minutes? I'm like, I want my Chinese food, damn it. Anderson, I watched a video this morning on the 10 worst places in South Carolina you can live, and I'm really amazed that Anderson did not make it on there. It's about 45 minutes outside of Greenville, South Carolina. It's the closest big city. I'm in the top northwest corner of South Carolina, right near the Georgia border. Georgia and North Carolina corner. Yeah, Dibble snagged that right out from underneath Victoria. Victoria said she was going to get that one, but Dibble got it first. She little, but she quick. I got lost in Florence. When I was coming back from Florida, I went way the wrong way. Of course, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I missed my turn and ended up in Florence. I was not happy to be there. We had driven there once before. My best friend Rose's mom, her tire blew out when she was in Florence, and we brought her a tire because the garage, which of course is right off the highway for any emergencies that might happen, was way overcharging her for a fucking tire. So we brought her a tire, drove all the way up there. Yeah. And I ripped the guy a new asshole and told him to check her fluids and all that shit and check her other tires and stuff. Man, he was ready to give her free service by the time I was done with her. By the time I was done with him, I was pissed. Yeah, I don't know where Lamar is. I know where Hartsville is. I cannot stand the service people here that take advantage of older women. It happens to my mom consistently. I had a guy try to do it to me. That was funny. I called him on it. Oh, okay. Next section from Florence. Yeah, I'm on the opposite side of the state from Florence. Yeah, the guy that bought my Jeep, he I mean, he shows up, asks me, "Hey, stop clawing up my wheelchair. I'm gonna throw you out the damn door." Thank you, Simi. Good girl. Simi's all like, "Grr." um, she's shredding the arms of my wheelchair. It's pissing me off. Uh, but yeah, this guy asked, I was selling it, and I was like, yes, because the city made me sell it, assholes. And he told me his wife had gotten T-boned, so he needed the doors. Hey, TG. I'm like, yeah, yeah, seriously, bad kitty. That would be the bitch cat. She's destroying the arms on my wheelchair. But he was like, well, he goes, I'll give you $150 for it. I was like, all right, cool. Not cool, but I had no choice, and 150 sounded good to me, So now, mind you, he told me why he wanted it. All he needed was the driver door and the rear passenger door. That's all he needed. So then I told him, I said, you're gonna have to pop the steering wheel, the ignition, because I can't find the key, right? So after he gets it all on the ramp, all on his little trailer and everything, he comes back. He goes, "Well, will you take 100? Because I had to destroy the steering column and da da da." I looked at him. Now his buddy who helped him load it is down at the bottom of my steps, and he's just hanging his head like, "Oh man." And I looked at him. I was like, "You know what? I'm going to take 100 because you just ran a good game." I was like, "But you do remember, you told me all you needed was the doors. So you destroying the steering column has nothing to do with why, you using the vehicle. So it's irrelevant." And he was like, shit. And the guy at the bottom of the stairs just laughed his ass off, going, "Oh, she called you on it." I was like, "But I'll take the 100. I was like, just because you did try and it was a good effort and you did it with a straight face. I was like, but just because I'm female doesn't mean that I don't know anything about vehicles or that I don't have any memory retention. I was like, because I know the steering column has absolutely nothing to do with the doors." So yeah. Because he came on, "Oh, I got 100 on me." Then why did you offer me 150? You know what I mean? I'm like, really? I should have busted on him, go, "Nope, sorry, put it back." And put my steering column back together. But I had to get it out of here because the city was going to find my landlord because it was unregistered and all that. Poor TG got a jabby jab in her arm. Be glad they didn't stab you in the butt. But yeah, for some reason, garages and stuff, they're always trying to take advantage of women, thinking that they're stupid. And I mean, a lot of older women don't have the knowledge about vehicles or home repair or whatever, because if they had been married, their husband took care of all that in that age bracket. Like my dad took care of everything that needed repair, or like if the vehicles had to go to the shop. My dad was actually a mechanic, so if he couldn't fix it and had to take it to a shop, they couldn't get anything over on him because he was a mechanic. Um, but having been raised by a mechanic and having good observation skills, and then dating mostly mechanics, um, yeah, a little difficult to get bullshit past me with cars. Now, when John's boss decided he wanted to suddenly get into the ATV business, he was buying all these ATVs, and they came. You had to assemble them, right? Because they came looking like an untransformed transformer on a little pallet, and it's all packed up in foam and all this crap, right? So John calls me one day. This is why John should not drink and then try and work. He calls me one day. He goes, "Okay, this damn thing won't start. I need your opinion." I'm like, "Okay." He goes, "There's gas in it." I'm like, "Okay." He goes, "But it's not turning over." He goes, "I can hear the starter trying, but it's like it's not getting any fuel." I'm like, "Did you take the foam off the fuel thing, the fuel filter?" Because it had that black foam stuff. It came packed in to protect the fuel filter. And he goes, "Of course I." Ah, shit. And he hadn't. So he took it off, and nothing started right up. I'm like, "You're welcome." No dibble. No, it was an ATV, like a little four-wheeler. All-terrain vehicle. Get off me, cat. Now the other one is walking all over me. Damn. Well, feel free to stick some in the mail for me, Dibble. It's the only way I'm going to get any. Oh, Kathy. Kathy. Please tell me a bag of those shimmer eggs ended up in my box. I love Cadbury mini eggs. You can donate some to me. I'll take this. I'll take some Cadbury mini eggs. Love those things. That was what when I saw that video, I was like, "Oh, I hope some of those fell in my box." Thank you. I love you. Yeah, Darlene, definitely. I hope you only get good news. Dog, you're knocking my pillow off the bed. What are you doing? What is with these animals today? Ugh. Yeah, TG, we talked about that earlier. And I hope Victoria has a very safe flight home. That's crazy that they wouldn't let her take like a luggage without. What did she say? It would cost her $35 to check it. She can only bring her purse or whatever. That's nuts. The last time I got on a plane was in 2002. I don't know, Dibble. Hopefully, they're not all getting too drunk before the ceremony. And I had to take my shoes off, and they went through my shit. And I'm like, "Seriously, you're making a fat girl take her shoes off? Do you know how hard it is for me to get my damn shoes on?" I was flying out of Atlanta to go to California. John's mom had sold her house, and we were having to pack her up and then drive her back across country. And I got stuck there for almost a month. I almost lost my job. My dogs almost starved to death because the person taking care of them didn't have the brains to just buy a damn bag of dog food and let us know that we owed them money. We were only supposed to be gone a week. We were gone for like 3. So he just let the dogs starve. It took me 3 months to get our dogs back up to normal weight after we got back. And they killed one of the cats because he had left the front door open and the cat got out. And I killed my daughter's cat. He never did show his face at my house again. You would think that someone who was a former Army Ranger and my former partner at work would have been a little more respectful to my animals than that. But nope, all my animals almost died. And see, I've never been afraid to get on a plane. I was a kid when we flew to Canada when I was a kid. The last time was when I was 9, and we flew through this hellacious thunderstorm. And I was the only one on the plane with my window up watching the lightning. Everybody else was freaking out because, of course, the plane is going up and down like you're on a fucking Brahma bull. You know what I mean? And I'm like fascinated. My dad's like, shut that window. I'm like, no. So, yeah. But I think it's because we started flying when I was real little because we would go to Canada to visit my dad's family like every other year. So starting from when I was a baby, because there's pictures of me with my grandparents before they died, and I was just itty bitty baby. So I was used to it. Then I didn't fly again until I was 13 when we flew to Florida because we were going to Disney World and Busch Gardens and Epcot Center and all that. That was fun. Yeah, 9/11 would do it. Cat, go, go. She'd take one step and stop, one step and stop, while on me. Ugh. You know, if I could, I'd kick you all out of my room. I would. Don't you twitch that tail at me. Go back and sleep in the laundry basket. And then from when I was 13, I didn't fly again until 2002 to go to California. So, and I'll tell you, the trip from Atlanta to California was the worst. I don't know if it's because I was more aware I wasn't a kid and so self-involved, but the guy next to me was eating a Subway sub, and it was Italian, and it stunk. And when he was done with his sandwich, he just crumpled all the garbage up and threw it on the floor of the plane. I'm like, wow, that's rude. He goes, they clean it. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, the flight crew was not happy. But they knew it was him because he was sitting next to me eating loudly. With his elbows out, so I was squashed. The thing that's fucked up is that the plane was only about a quarter to a half full. There were a crap ton of empty seats. And I asked if I could switch seats, and they told me no. And I'm like, why not? I'm like, I could switch just across the aisle. There's nobody sitting there. And they were like, because in case the plane crashes, they need to know where you are. And I'm like, what the fuck? That's encouraging. I'm like, holy shit. Yeah. Nana said that anybody was welcome to come stay at her house anytime. That's what she said. So yeah, it was not overly encouraging. There were no problems with the flight itself, just with the douchebag sitting next to me being a pig. And the fact that, of course, the seats are made for thin people. So, like, one of my legs would have fit in it comfortably. But at the time, I didn't have one that was detachable. So, Oh, she was going to come get you. Gotcha. Well, that's a hell of a drive. I throw it at you all the time. It's on a retractable leash so I can get it back. I need to put a little sound thing in it so that when I throw it to Wes, it goes, man, coming. See, now if I flew, I'd have to be in the wheelchair and they have to lock you in. Like they lock the wheels in a special area. And I'd have to sit in the wheelchair the whole time. So that wouldn't be happening because this wheelchair is not made for comfort. Because it's still too small for me. It's just not as small as John's was. But it's definitely not anything close to being comfortable. Yeah, I told my mom about how I looked up electric wheelchairs and how I wouldn't be able to use one. She's like, "Oh well, that's too bad." Such is my life. Wes be gone. Yep. So you spray that, and Wes goes, "Bye." Is it Beverly? You're lucky. Mine sucks. Although, because in order for me to put my dog out, I have to get into that little tiny space, and the dog goes under my wheelchair to go outside. And then when she comes back inside, she goes under the wheelchair to get back in the house. Electric wheelchairs have the motor underneath them, so my dog wouldn't be able to get under the chair. So, yeah. Yeah, my dog's a little circus dog. There is no other way. She can't fit next to the wheelchair in that space. A cat couldn't fit next to the wheelchair in that space. And she can't get in front of me because then I can't reach the door to open it. Yeah, I don't have a lap, and Simi's 35 pounds. I'm not carrying her and trying to maneuver the wheelchair into that tiny little area. It's just not happening. So there is no other way for my dog to get outside other than going under the wheelchair. I mean, the landlord had said that he would move the washer and dryer into the kitchen. He'd have to drill a hole through the wall for a new vent, plug up the old one, and then rerun the plumbing so that the washer would have water. However, I would have to pay for all supplies and labor, and he'd increase my rent. So, nope. Yeah, there's I've never actually measured it, but there's probably about 3 feet of space. I mean, I can't even to go through the doorway. I can't. I have to lift my hands up away from the wheels. Otherwise, I smash my knuckles on the door. And if I put my hands down to wheel it, my hands are bumping the wall and the washer and dryer on either side. There's no space at all. It's an addition they built onto the house, and they weren't thinking of actual space. How they even got the washer and dryer in there was amazing. I think that the Aaron's people are Tetris experts because there's no space there for anything. Yeah, with an electric chair, it would have more power. I'd be able to get in and out of my house. Yeah, it causes me spasms too, Beverly. I just don't have a choice. But because with an electric chair, it would have the motor behind it, so I'd be able to get back in the house. So I'd at least be able to get on my porch and stuff, and get across my driveway, which is sand dirt mix. But the dog has to go outside, so there he is. Hi, Wes. Kathy, run. Yeah, I if I move around too fast or transfer into the chair too fast, then yeah, I get bad spasms in my back. But hell, in order to get out of that little space, I have to put one forearm on the dryer and one forearm on the wall, and then scoot my butt backwards really quickly so that I get over the lip. Get cat, I swear to God. I can't even wheel it backwards because I don't have room for my hands to. I smash my elbows. It's horrible. So, yeah. Nope. My knees are too bad. I can stand with the leg, but I can't walk with the leg because the motion of pulling myself forward and the walking motion, it's like I got ground glass on my knees. My arthritis is too bad. And my right knee is damaged on top of that. So it's an interesting adaptation. But yeah, my back doesn't like me having to go in and out of that room either because I have to use my upper back. I have to use my upper back to propel myself backwards over that lip to get back in the house. And yeah. And then of course the dog decides she has to go back outside like twice. So I got to do the whole freaking thing over again. Go away. Ugh. Yeah. So unless there's something that I have to do that I have to be standing in order to do, I don't bother with it. I can, you know. Besides, standing hurts my back, so it's kind of a no-win situation there. But if I have to do something that I have to stand up on, then I can put the leg on and try and maneuver out there. I mean, I can't bend my knee, I can't bend my leg with the prosthetic on it. It hits the back of my thigh because I've lost weight in my leg and the back of the prosthetic is too high and I can't go get it adjusted because I can't leave the house. So yeah, it's fun. It is what it is. Besides, the prosthetic people want over $2,000 from me, and they are not getting it. I don't have it. Blood from a stone, people. Blood from a stone. You knew I was broke when you freaking gave me the equipment. Medicare was supposed to pay for it. Yell at them. Yeah, I don't see one happening, but thank you. Yeah, thanks to a YouTube angel, I have a shower. I have a shower bench, so I'm able to shower now. So that's nice. Because I hadn't been able to take a shower in like 2 years, just bitch baths and trying to use dry shampoo on my hair. That's fun. But now I can get in the shower. Woohoo! Not you, TG. Cat, I swear. Go. Mm. Aw, thank you, Beverly. But honest, I mean, I can't. I have no. I could use it for other things if I wasn't putting the dog out. But the only time I really go out into the other part of the house is to put the dog out and give her food and make myself something to eat. So my mom wouldn't be able to put it in her car, you know. But I do appreciate the offer. It would be nice to sit on my porch, although there've been a lot of hornets out there lately. I'm thinking, damn, did Mr. Jim's killer cricket freaking send the bomb squad after me or something? Yeah, they made a nest somewhere around here and I don't know where. But they're not happy looking. And those things don't like me, so. I can get out of my house if there's an emergency. I just can't get back in because the door jamb is too high. Yeah. My mom can't even put this one, a regular wheelchair, in the car. It's too heavy for her. So if I was able to get down there and get in the car, she would have to bring the wheelchair back up and put it back in the house. And then wherever we were going, better have a wheelchair or I'm sitting in the car. So, but my mom can't push this wheelchair with me in it across the dirt driveway. Cat, if you come bug me again, go away. Um, my driveway is like a sand, and there's just, yeah, I can't use the walker, so. And for anybody that is thinking that I'm coming up with excuses, it's not. It's reasons. So there is a difference. I mean, I have two walkers. I have the walker with the seat that was John's, and then I have another walker, like a regular walker. Um, but since I can't walk with a prosthetic and I can't walk without the prosthetic, it doesn't do me much good. And I can't believe I couldn't find, out of 3 men that I asked, I couldn't find even one that knows how to reverse the door on a dryer. Seriously? What the hell? John would have had that thing flipped around in a heartbeat. Yeah, I know. Falling is always a fear of mine. That's why I last night was scary because I had to get up and down in and out of the wheelchair so much for the dog. She had the runs really bad. I don't know why, but she had to keep going outside, so I had to keep putting her outside because I cannot clean up a mess in here. Yeah, I know how to do it. I just can't do it because of the awkward angle I would be at. I already know how to do it, but you think any of the men are going to listen to a girl tell them how to do it? Not in this state, they're not. So, yeah, that'll work. I did finally get the rent paid. That was good. He showed up. I apologized for it being late. He goes, "Oh, it's all right." He's like, "I was out of town for a funeral, and then I spent a couple of days at the beach." And I'm like, "Oh, well, that was a sad little sacrifice you had to make." No, he won't. I already asked him. He said he doesn't know how. My landlord's too high to bother with stuff like that. He's not going to watch it double. Won't do any good. Yep. I mean, hell, I asked him for a way to electronically pay my rent so that I wouldn't have to depend on anybody else to get the money off my disability card. And he looked at me like I had 10 heads. I'm like, fuck. So I'm like, all right, well, then if something happens, you're just going to have to wait for your rent. At least he didn't bitch, about the rent being late. It's not my mom's fault that the ATM was down. It's a chance you take. Yeah, it's just shit I deal with. I mean, I've been able to manage to do everything else with the wheelchair. It's just there are certain things that I cannot do, and so my mom helps me with stuff and the neighbors because the way the dryer door opens, it opens towards me going into the room. So yeah, I can't reach anything over the door to get stuff out of the dryer. And if I go into the room first, I would have to like twist around, reach behind me, open the door, and then I can't reach anything because I'm in the way. So, you know, so I can get stuff in the washer and get the washer started. I did that before. So that like on Wednesdays when my mom's coming over, if I need laundry done, it's already pretty much finished by the time she gets here. And then she just has to put it in the dryer. So then it's dry by the time she leaves and she can get it out of the dryer for me. Um, I can't go get my mail. And for some reason, all the delivery people that bring packages leave them at the end of my porch and I can't reach them. So my neighbor will come over and bring them either to my door or if I'm in the doorway at the time, he'll hand them to me. I can't take my trash out. Yeah, I have to sit. I'm sitting in the wheelchair to do my dishes and it hurts because my counter and my sink are at a level where it kills my back. Plus, I have the nerve problems in my hands, so it hurts for me to hold on to things. So that's fun. Um, But my mom takes the trash out on Wednesdays out to the garbage can, and then my neighbors Wednesday night take the garbage can out to the street for me. So that's very sweet of them. And then they come and bring it back. Yeah, but we talk about your boobs all the time. Nobody wants to talk about your boobs. Oh, I think we're gonna give this another 9 minutes or so, and then I'm gonna shut it down because I need to try and get some sleep. Oops. My eyes are starting to burn. Yeah, you did already in the unboxing. Yeah, Beverly John used to think that I was over exaggerating things when it was just my back. Well, my back and arthritis and bursitis and all this other shit. Um, I don't know what concert they were going to, but then he got degenerative disc disease and had problems with his legs and couldn't walk, and he apologized to me for like a month straight for thinking that I was over exaggerating my pain. It go off of me, off my stuff, be gone. There's a whole room in here for you to haunt. Go away. My mom has often given the opinion too that I'm not in as much pain as I say I am, and I'm like, yeah, okay. Because if you don't look like you have a problem, then you don't have a problem. Even now, you know, she comes in and she keeps touching stuff and wanting to put stuff away, and I'm like, where are you going to put it? And she's like, well, I'll put it here, here, and here. I'm like, and how am I going to reach that? Don't squeak at me. I've told you a million times, get off my stuff. Get off me. Stop walking on me with your claws out. Damn. I'm bleeding all over the place from her. Um, I had to tell my mom to sit in the kitchen chair and face, the cabinets and the counter and all that. I said, now tell me what you'd be able to reach. And she was like, oh. I'm like, yeah. So leave my mess alone. It's things are where I can reach them. Yeah, my mom used to tell me if I just lost weight, I'd be better. Although it would alleviate a lot at this point because it would be a lot easier for me to transfer because I wouldn't be lifting as much of myself. And if it took the pressure, that weight off of my knees, I might be able to use my prosthetic. So hopefully, you know, yeah, it's organized chaos. Right, Kathy? Exactly. But it wasn't until I actually forced my mom to take that perspective that she realized that what she was trying to do was organize my kitchen the way she wanted her kitchen organized, the way she would organize it. But that's not going to work for me because I have to be able to reach the things that I need to use. So yeah, my counter's a mess. It's cluttered so that I can reach things. Even putting something in the lower cabinets is difficult for me because I can't bend. I got big old belly in the way. I can't bend down and reach stuff in the back of a cabinet that's below waist level. The hell? So my trash bags and my Ziploc bags, all of that stuff is all up on my counter, you know, where I can reach it. My herbs, my olive oil, all of that's on the counter. On my kitchen table, I have my paper plates, paper towels, plastic forks, my salt. and it's all in a like contained in a cookie tray, like the jelly roll trays. It's in one of those. My mom kept trying to take it and put stuff away. I'm like, Mom, please leave it alone. Stop touching stuff. She drives me crazy sometimes. Uh-oh. The drone neighbor that shoots people. Yeah. Hopefully nobody got shot this time. No. It's not good, Darlene. Yeah, when I worked at Kmart doing straightening, I worked third shift, and I had twisted my ankle. I basically sprained my ankle. I didn't go to the hospital or anything, but it was sprained. And so I had it wrapped, but I still needed to work because my mom's like, "Well, you can't miss work." Glad I didn't break it, you know. So I used one of the electric cart things, like Walmart has the electric carts. Well, Kmart did too, and I kept my foot propped up on the seat and wheeled around. When I had to start straightening stuff, I would just rest my leg on the seat. And the people I was working with, what are you doing? I'm like, I twisted my ankle. It's all swollen. They're like, you're fine. I'm like, fuck you. I'm like, yeah. Hey, Cajun. So, humans are amazingly adaptable. That we can overcome things that cause us to not be how we were before. Mm. People are assholes, Darlene. They really are. Because that's some insensitive shit right there. She should be ashamed. Yep. Beverly, Cajun has a message for you. Still waiting for the email of the person who got a gift sent to someone. We need that info to send them the item, please. Thank you. Yeah, I am too, darling. I'm sorry that they're treating you that way. That's a horrible thing to do. Jennifer! Hey, Jennifer. Jennifer do it too. She's slashing with them nails of hers and they're done. Then we can call her the manicure murderer. I could come throw my leg at them. See, all I have to do is slit my leg and be like, oops, I guess I didn't attach it correctly. Sorry, had a twitch. Thing's heavy too. Prosthetic could kill somebody. Remember that, TJ. All right, guys. I'm hitting the 2.5 hour mark. I am tired as hell. So drop any links you have while you got the chance. Links, info, stores, whatever you like. As long as it's not porn, we're good. You always want food. How is there even any food left in Wales? You eat so much all the time. Miss, not so much of a vegetarian. Yeah, definitely. Have a groovy day. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me, guys. I appreciate it. I love hanging with my tribe. And I will be back Wednesday, if not before. And I'll see y'all around the tubes. And there's Dibble's link. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.